After the ball is over, after the skein is done, after the die lot's finished, and you are short just one, many a knitter has made a tearful and desperate call, pleading with their local yarn shop, go after that ball.
Hello everybody, welcome to the Pen, Hook, and Needles podcast, episode 541. Today is Monday, February 13th, 2023, as we are recording. My name is Marlisha, also known as Lady Furnico.
I'm Talia, also known as Franciscan Gypsy.
Want to welcome all new and returning viewers to the Fun in the Woman Cave. If you're new, we're glad you found us. We hope that you will return, find something you like, and if you are returning, we're always glad to have you back with us. If you are new or returning, but you're just kind of hiding out in the shadows, hanging out in the shadows, that's fine. But if you'd like to join us more actively, you can press the little subscribe button on your right. It's a little red button. Just tap it, and there's a little bell up there. We can tap that too, so you get notifications, and you can determine how many notifications you want to get, or how, there's a little bell that gives you like all the
options.
Notifications, or part of some of the notifications, or whatever. Just, you can do whatever you want that way.
Or no notifications if that is indeed what you desire.
Yes, what you desire.
I followed people not wanting notifications before just because I want to be able to find them easily.
Right.
But I don't want to necessarily be notified.
Mm-hmm. But if you do subscribe, we get bumped up in the searches. So,
if you comment, even if it's just like a heart, like in the comments, like
we have a wonderful viewer who
we have a couple of them do this.
Who they say, we watched and we enjoyed, we watched and hearted and thumbs up, and
because
that's wonderful.
That actually does, get you a little, even if it's, not, it doesn't necessarily have to be conversation. It just gets people to see you.
Yeah.
Or see the video.
So you can do all that. If you want to take part in the alongs and potential giveaways or whatever it is that we're doing, that we do in the group, you need to be a part of our home group, which is at phnpodcast.freeforums.net, and that's in the little description box below the video, phnpodcast.freeforums.net. Okay, let's see here.
Before we do tea, I've been showing the nail polish. This one is a Christmas one. This is Read It Twice. Mom says she really likes this particular color. It does have the sparklets in it already.
It looks more brown on the screen that we're looking at, but it's red.
But it is red. Oh, do you think I should flip that up for more light?
If you like, yeah.
Excuse me, guys. Because it can be a little dark in here.
Yeah, that's a little bit better.
Because it was looking like it was dark even on this screen. I'm like,
And
this is a bright red.
It's supposed to warm up today, but right now it's cold.
Go.
And that's why I'm wearing a shawl, and Talia's wearing nothing knitted.
Well, it's right over here. Actually, I am. I'm wearing a knit hat.
Well, that doesn't count.
Why does that not count?
Because I want you to wear something like a shawl.
Okay, here we go. I brought a shawl with me. I also brought a sweater. I brought the matching shawl.
Very nice. Very nice. That's pretty. That's the forest floor.
Yes, it is.
On the forest floor. Yeah. And this is the scrap shawl by Anastasia Sattel. Because it's the only one I have big enough that covers me all warm. And I love it. So it's like a blanket. I'm cold.
Just want to make sure. Oh, hang on. That's why that screen's dark. I apologize, guys. This is saying it's working on battery, which this camera does not do well on battery. There we go. That's why the screen is so dark. I was trying to figure out. Yeah, if I have that on battery, it'll run out by the time we're done. Before we're done with the podcast, it's just not a very good battery.
Okay, so I think we go tea before we do our other things.
We do, and I only have 2.
And I have 4, but only 2 got worked on a little bit. The other 2 got worked on more substantially. But
Sorry.
So before we get into that, my tea is in my Adagio Forest Really Owl mug. This is Adagio mug, and this one gets used a lot. It's got the nicks to prove it.
Kind of like what Bunny one does.
Yeah, and the tea is by Woody. It's called Nutella. It's an Adagio Fandom. It's a decaf Nutella blend, and it's really good. You can have this a little stronger, and you put a splash of vanilla almond milk in it. Oh my gosh, it's really good. So that's this. That's what I'm having.
Okay, so let me go ahead and at least, do one more stitch so I don't lose my stitch marker.
Just one more stitch. Just one more stitch.
There we go. So, for me, in my Keep Calm and Use Your Little Gray Salesman on Me mug is my T-Spot Earl of Grey. Moved it to a big tin. I had a bag that wasn't in a tin, and it just fits in here. I've been drinking a fair amount of this lately. I forgot how much I like it.
I think we go through phases, because I've been drinking a fair amount of this as well.
Yeah, I think you're right. Sometimes you're just in the mood for something. And I've been drinking a lot more black teas because I've been drinking tea for breakfast. Just because I have trouble getting up in the morning.
I've actually been drinking vanilla steamers in the morning.
You just started doing
vanilla milk steamers. I just started doing that. I figured out how to make it dairy-free. And actually, the recipe I got, I didn't know what the site was, but I looked down in the comments, and the first comment was really helpful. She said, I use silk vanilla almond milk, and this is what I found to be helpful. And so I just followed her directions, and it was perfect. So
for me, I have something I want to try. I just have to figure out how to make it so it's not quite as big amount. Or I guess I can make the big amount and then just save part of it for later. There's this thing, I guess, in Mexico when people are... I'm not sure if it's just traditional or if it is still used in Mexico when people go out and work in the fields or whatever. It's milk, but it's got like they have their version of like a cornstarch kind of thing in it to thicken it, and they said it could basically be a meal. So I really want to try that.
Wonder how it tastes.
I mean, they have other flavorings in there.
I mean, the other recipe that I pulled up for the steamer makes, well, I pulled up two of them. The other one I didn't because the other one looked good too, but it made 8 servings. I didn't want 8 servings. I mean, I guess like Talia said, I could put them in the fridge or something, but I didn't really feel like doing that. So I guess I could have done it. Would have made things easier. Maybe I'll go back and revisit that recipe. But yeah, okay.
Then my other one, because I made a second one so Mom didn't feel lonesome. And also so I have my other tea for later. So
I didn't feel lonesome.
Making tea by yourself.
Oh, okay.
Also, I was honestly afraid I was going to run out during the podcast because I've already had one of my 2 cups that's in my Yeti. So in my Jane Austen mug is Lavender London Fog. It's a Adagio blend. It's one of the personalized blends.
Fandom.
I couldn't think of the word.
It's like the one I had. It's Fandom.
Yeah, so
different person though.
I'm using 2 tablespoons of vanilla almond milk in here.
1 ounce. 1 ounce.
It hasn't had the chance to fully mature yet.
Does it have anything red in it?
No.
Okay.
And it's basically, Earl Grey.
I've had this once before, I think. It's a little weak.
It is a little weak this time. It's been a while since I've made something in here, so maybe I just made it weaker than I normally do, or maybe it's going to need some more time to sit.
Could be. Because I remember liking that, but I'm not sure I like it now.
Yeah.
No, that's the Lavender London Fog. I like the Lavender Earl Grey.
Yeah, this is Lavender London Fog.
Yeah, I don't care for the London Fogs that much.
Usually I like this one. I think I made it a little weaker, or it hasn't had a chance to mature the way I like it.
I think I made this one a little weaker too. Of course, the cupcake we had was so sweet.
Right.
Yeah. Okay, moving on. The alongs. Okay, we have 2 alongs going on right now, I think. Let me see. And this is just going to be very truncated.
Because we already did this last week.
Because we did it last week. So we had the PHN Movie Night Make Along 2023. This is our year-long along, and we're in the first quarter. So we have quarterly prizes. And the projects must... okay, I said it was year-long, so that's good.
Yeah.
They must be knit, loom knit, crocheted, woven, paper crafts such as journaling, origami, card making, etc. And the featured yarns and featured patterns are as they always are.
And everything for that is in the...
Yeah, it's my stuff, Talia's stuff, and Laura Concert's stuff under our various shop titles, and they are in the...
yeah, all the important rules are in the group. If you are taking part, you will have to go to the group anyway.
Right. The way you get the multiple listings are also in the group.
Yeah.
And so I'm not going to go into that this time. I'll do that the week of March 1st.
Yeah, because otherwise we can last here for quite a while. I think I'll take these pants wash next.
Okay. Now, the hashtag for this is hashtag PHN Movie Night 2023 on Instagram. Now this has to do with, as it says, anything to do with the movie experience, the theater movie.
Cinema experience.
Cinema movie theater. You go to the theater, whether it's a drive-in or a movie house type of thing, okay? What about, I guess we will consider, for people who are military and things, sometimes their movie theater is in a rec hall
but
or something.
that's meant to be a movie theater.
It's meant to be a movie theater. So that's the kind of thing we're talking about. So it's a movie experience, anything to do with it, like the movies,
just not home and going, with your, or going into another friend's house. No, it has to be intended as a cinema experience.
Yes, you have to have seen it in the movie theater. It had to be
or not. You don't have to have seen it in the movie.
Right.
It had to be released
as
in
a
the movie theater.
And it has to do with the movies, anything to do with that movie. It can do with the food. It can do with the
But all that is going to be in the.
It's on the thread. So the only reason I'm going a little bit over that more than I normally do is because it's a new along. Then the PHN Ready Set Go Make Along 2023. This is a quarterly. This ends at the end of March.
And it is in the.
It's in the thing there, and for this one, the caveat is no. All projects had to be started no earlier than January 1st. Mm-hmm. Okay, that's a caveat for that. Everything else is the same as for the normal, in terms of multiple prize postings and all that kind of stuff, featured patterns, featured yarns, all that stuff is the same as normal. Okay, and you can find all that in the thread, the appropriate thread on PHN.
Yes.
The hashtag for this is PHN Ready Set Go 2023 on Instagram. We will have prizes for both these alongs.
A lot of times, if we forget the hashtag, it should be correct in the thread.
And if it isn't, we have a very eagle-eyed person named Rena, who is one of our moderators, and she's very, very good about saying, "Hey, you forgot to change this," and we appreciate that immensely.
Yes, we do. Because usually I only go on about once a week, and that's when I'm gathering the pictures.
And I try to go on a couple times a week.
And my wakefulness when I go on is variable. But my wakefulness in general is variable.
So yeah, and if you have any questions, you can feel free to ask either here on YouTube. If you're not sure how to get to the PHN, there is a link in the description box to go to the PHN homepage.
If you do message us on PHN, it does go to our email box. Mm-hmm. If you don't get answered right away, your message got lost in the email box. Mm-hmm. But we will eventually find you. Like, when I go once a week, that's when I usually will see a message that I missed in my email box.
Right. And you can also tag us in the threads.
Yes, and that also goes to the email box. If we mix it in the email box, we will see it as a notification when we go to the group.
Also, what I was saying though was the fact that if they had questions about how to get to PHN, it's in the little description box.
Yeah, there is actually a link.
There's a link there, okay? And there's also a link there for the Patreons.
Yes.
Okay, so that takes care of the alongs. I'm still trying to make that a little more smooth, but because I'm not used to having to cut it down so much.
Yeah, we're trying to get that down because we know that for both of us, we do get tired, and we're trying to avoid having the Sleepy Talia episodes as much as we can. We know that we won't necessarily be able to avoid them completely, but we might as well help ourselves out as much as we can by not making the beginning part where I'm not interacting as much quite as long.
Okay, so I have 4 projects and you have two. So you have 1.
Two at a time.
No, I do 2, and then you do 1, and then I do 1, and then you do, and then I do.
Okay.
Right? Because I do 2, you do 1. I do 1, you do 1, I do 1.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So in my Angel's bag, I love this bag. I think this is my favorite Knitting's My Bag.
Well, she went and found that for you, didn't she? Or you found it for her or something?
I think we both were looking for it because there was this gorgeous angel pattern fabric. I couldn't find it. I saw somebody had it. I couldn't find it. She couldn't find it. I think it disappeared. So anyway, but this is the Film Noir Shawl project from the Scrap Shawl pattern by Anastasia Zattel. And this, I did work on this. This is one I did work on during, we're watching TV. And I did work on this one one day. I'll show you here. So it did grow a little bit. Can you see the bottom there? It's definitely bigger than the last time I showed it to you. And I think I'm pretty close to changing the colorway again.
Yay.
But, let me see here. If you can
I'm not wearing my big one right now.
I am.
Well, you're wearing your big one, not my big one.
No. So it's not quite there yet. Let me see if I can show you here.
Oh, yeah, that's a good way of seeing it.
Can you see this?
Yeah.
There's still quite a bit, but not that much when you consider how big the rows are.
Right, right.
See, you can see. And this is for my black and silver. You can see with my black sweater how nice it will look with the black and silver.
I would wear a pop of red.
Oh, yeah, that would be too. But what I made this for was my silver outfit.
Yes, yes.
So, yeah, so this is moving along. I love this project. In fact, I told Talia if she wanted another color to let me know. To which she said, I will not say no to another one of those.
Of course not.
So, yeah. So that means I can always have one of these on the hook. Because this is something that's kind of relaxing for me. Once I get started, I just,
I don't put away my shawls of this pattern. They either stay on my bed or they stay on top of my pattern basket, my project basket next to my desk. So that I always have one within reach no matter where I am in the room. Because I've used them because I feel too trapped when I try to sleep under my covers because it's too heavy or whatever. And I don't have covers. I have a sheet and then two
heavy blankets that Davina made.
Heavy blankets Davina made. But
one that I made.
The one that you made. I think I have one Grandma Fernandez made too.
She's got 4 blankets on her bed.
Right, because the comforter, what it was made of, it was too hot. And it was making me very uncomfortable. So, but unfortunately, even right now, if I get under the blanket, it's too tight on my feet, even when I try to loosen it. So I just get out, sleep on top of that with my miter square blanket. But sometimes I get a little chilly, so I use your blue thing that you made me with the arms. And I sometimes will have to grab on the shawls and pull them on.
Yeah. Well, I think this will be helpful. Sometimes when I can't sleep or whatever, or like with when you have to go in for procedures at the doctor and then you have to sit up, this is nice because you can cover up where your sheets don't cover up, because I like to be covered up when I sleep. Not necessarily that it's really tight, but covered up. And if you're sitting up or partially sitting up, you don't get that coverage.
I don't think I was able to wear any of my shawls in my last surgery. I was able to wear the previous one because I was able to get up more. The last one because I had to be flat for so long. That was so painful. I wasn't able to make use of any of the shawls that I brought with me.
Right.
Or the knitting unlike the time before.
Right. I remember you saying you were kind of disappointed. You tried to do a little knitting, but
it was too much. And it was hard when you're laying completely flat. I didn't anticipate lying. Even though I knew I'd be lying flat, I thought I could manage.
The funny thing was, when he came in, he told you not to lay flat. He told you to lay on your side.
I got 2 different, eventually I did get told I could lay on my side and they would flip me. But even then, I could not angle at all.
I'm just saying that, you had to, because it didn't make sense to be laying on a wound.
Yeah. Regardless, it was very uncomfortable.
I'm sure it was.
And it was also, I thought it would be easier to knit on my side. It wasn't. I should have made better use of the books that I had brought with me.
Yeah, well, you were kind of out of it, I mean, because I stayed there the first night with her, and she was, she knew I was there, and she was able to, talk and stuff, but pretty much out of it. I kind of had to keep myself occupied, and then when I came back, you were better, but, a little better, but, because I couldn't stay with her the whole time she was there. I just, the 3 nights, 4 nights? 3 nights, I think.
Yeah, I was there 3 or 4 nights.
So I was there the first night, and then I went home, and then at least it was more comfortable in that place in terms of this. It might not have been able to feed me properly, but they at least
their food was good though.
It was good, but they had no way to get and we already talked about this. I think on the
previous ones.
Huh?
On our earlier podcast.
On our or in the
Zoom,
the live stream or whatever. That it made it impossible for the people they wanted to stay to eat. I guess they expected us to go outside to all the restaurants. I wasn't going outside in the middle of the night by myself. And
it felt like they were still getting some bugs out.
I think
it was a fairly new hospital.
But
because they also didn't honor my gluten-free, dairy-free diet.
Right, and at least I have to say they did have an arrangement where I could sleep without being sore. I mean, when I slept in the other hospital, I had to sleep in that chair, and that was not comfortable.
It was a terrible room for migraines.
Yeah, I know, because you had so much light. Okay, let me go to the next one. Let me put this in my bag. I didn't mean to waffle here. Put this in here. Okay.
I think I would be able to handle the incision wound better if I didn't also have migraines at the same time.
Well, maybe it kind of... Well, I don't have to have this pain. I can have this pain instead.
Well, no, they were both incredibly painful.
I know that, but sometimes when you have a lot of pain, you can't quite figure out which one to focus on. Let me see, what
both. The answer was both.
Focus on both. Can't focus on both. You have to focus on one or the other.
Didn't work that way.
All right.
My everything hurt.
I need to... I think I forgot to bring a... Oh, there it is. I'm going to take my spoon out here because it's going to jangle against everything.
Jingle, jingle, jingle.
Not Christmas songs.
I'm wearing Christmas nail polish.
That's Femme Fatale nail polish.
Read it twice. Femme Fatale doesn't have sprinkly sparkly in it.
It can.
Yes, it could.
Okay. All right.
I don't think I've shown Davina. She would like the sparkles.
Oh, I think she would.
I need to make sure I show it to her.
In my Brittany's country bag. Country Roads.
Davina doesn't wear red. She wears pink.
This is my Country Roads blanket from the Jelly Roll pattern by K.F. Jones. And I didn't really work on this. I just worked on it during the podcast. You pretended? I worked on it during the podcast, so I did exactly one row. You're going to see it. I looked up the Bits and Bobs blanket. I don't have the pattern.
Oh, well, what's the other one that you've been with?
And I went to look for it, and she has a Bits and Bobs cowl, but not a Bits and Bobs
I think
blanket.
Bits and Bob blanket might have been a Patreon pattern. Maybe I got it then.
I thought I got it then.
You know what you got, I think, is it was named after it was meant to reference the mom Ron's mom in Harry Potter, because you changed the name to be more like Lord of the Rings, if I remember correctly.
A blanket?
No, it was the...
You're talking about the Dumbledore shawl.
Yes.
I had that.
Yeah, but that was the other project you're making. It wasn't a blanket.
No, I didn't make it.
It was the Dumbledore...
No, I didn't say I was making it. I said I thought I had it.
Oh, yeah. But I was trying... I, for whatever reason, thought that was the one you kept confusing with the one you're working now that you put on hold.
No.
But it's the Dumbledore one. I don't think it's called Dumbledore.
That's not the one I confused. The one I got confused with, I have it still on the needles.
It's not Dumbledore. It's named after the mom for Ron.
I don't know what her name is.
It's not named after her. It's named after where they live.
I don't know anything about Harry Potter. So
the only she says it in the pattern.
But I still have that one on the needles. I just haven't started it again because of the fact that they have different ways of ending, and I can never remember which one is
right.
which.
But okay, I will look for this afterwards because I have all case patterns together. I know I have that one.
Yeah, I have all case patterns. I could have sworn, I probably didn't get the Bits and Bobs because I figured, okay, it's
knit and it was holding together.
It was. Well, I could have just made it a heavier yarn. But my point is that I figured, okay, it's just, I'm not worried about doing that. It's a blanket pattern, and I'm not gonna. But she just said offer it on Love Crafts.
I guess it might have been a patron only. I know I have it.
I could have sworn I had it.
Okay, let's see. So actually, while I'm in here, let me look at blankets really quick.
Why?
Bits and Bobs. I own it.
Yeah. Okay.
If you decide you want to knit it, I'll just print it out for you. Because it's still getting used then.
Well, and I'm not going to give it to anybody.
Exactly.
So.
Let's see. I was coming in here to look up I think it is a wrap. Let's see.
It is a wrap. It's like a stole or something.
Let's see.
I have it on my needles still. I can't remember what it's called. I guess if I looked it up, let me see. I thought I still had it here.
I don't see it here, and I could have sworn I owned it.
Let me see.
Well, I can go look on Lovecraft's address.
Bag end wrap from the Burrow Wrap.
The Burrow Wrap. Yeah, that's it.
The Burrow Wrap.
How do I not have the Burrow Wrap? Unless I looked at it and it's like, it's not me. Because the Burrow, I believe, is the name of the place that they live. Kind of like, you just have sometimes the old places where they have like a sign out in front, like the barn or something like that.
Well, like where Miss Eileen used to live. She used to live, what's she called it? I have it on a mug. She gave it to me. In Woolpit. I forget what she called it. It's a cute little place that they had the name of the house.
Which is cool when it's such an old world way of doing things, and I feel like we lose a little bit of that.
Well, we've never really had it here.
No, I guess we must have had it at one point though.
I don't think so. Not much. I mean, maybe with the first settlers or something, but maybe the upper crust.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, because when they came over, you know, they're
things like dovecot, and I mean, we have our Missy has something on hers,
mm-hmm.
and then there's.
I mean, I know that some people probably add it afterwards because they are
mm-hmm.
whimsical,
mm-hmm.
but it feels like we just don't have that terribly much of it. Okay, hold on. I'm on here, and I'll put that up later.
What are you doing?
I wanted to see what it looked like.
Oh, you can do that later.
Yeah, I can. It looks like she's added new socks since I've been on here last.
She's added a lot of stuff. I noticed. I love her.
I usually try to keep track because I like her sock patterns.
I like her shawls. Although the first ones she made were too short in terms of for my liking, they were more like scarves.
Right.
And I prefer a shawl that's a shawl. But she's gotten to the point now where when she does make those, she makes them variable so you can make them bigger.
Right.
This is a hot mess. Anyway, it's your turn.
Yes, it is.
And this is in various yarns.
Now this one is not a K pattern. This is. Oh, Mom, it's a blanket. It's a burrow. Wait,
what?
No, here's a burrow wrap.
What?
I thought it was a blanket, but she made a burrow blanket as well as a burrow wrap.
I went to Lovecrafts to look it up to see if I could find it there, and I saw that.
So yeah,
I don't like the fringes. I'm not a fringe person.
I think that might have been what made me go, meh, I'm okay, I'm good.
Yeah.
And it might have been panels. I can't remember. It's still loading.
The burrow
yeah.
one? Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know. It's still loading. But, so in my Knit for Brains teapots bag that Laura gave me is it's the Laura's cowl. The pattern is the Thorns cowl, or Thorns hooded cowl, excuse me. And it's a free pattern. Just look up Thorns hooded cowl. And this is a Hobbit reference. It is building. I am not far.
The little design here.
Yes. Well, once I get to the end, I then end up seaming it, and then it'll be all done.
Very pretty. Because
I only have a few more. Because this is a smaller hood than I made.
Right.
I actually prefer that hood. It's not quite as floppy. When I finish this, I'm putting it on the needles for my red one, and I'm going to rip back and make the hood the way I like it on that one. And maybe I will use the extra yarn for like fingersmiths or something.
If you have enough of it, yeah.
You'd be surprised how much that hood takes up. Yeah, I must have just decided that this wasn't for me. I remember casting it must have been free at one point on Patreon. It's weird that I didn't save it.
What?
The burrow wrap. It's weird that I didn't save it. I remember casting this on. But I thought I remembered casting it on. There we go.
And I am purling here, right?
It looks like you are.
Yeah. Okay, this is in my, to continue with the theme, this is in my Knit for Brains Owl Teapot bag that Laura Concert gave me. I've got the drawstring bag, and it has a Thorns
hooded cowl
in it. Now, I'm not quite as far as Talia is, and it's a different one. I'm doing version 2, and she's doing version 3?
3, I think it is, yeah.
Version 3. So I'm not quite to the hood yet, but this is fun, and I did work on it a little bit during the podcast only, but it's nice. I mean, I don't have to really think about it. I just have to make sure that I have the, when I hit my marker, that I change the stitch if I have to, because sometimes I'll just go, and move it along and then keep going, and you're like, whoops.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, it's a forgiving pattern. I don't think it would be any big deal if I did an extra row of something, but it's, if you want it to be correct, then, if I want it to be correct, then I should pay attention to what I'm doing. But I have to go all the way around here. I'm still on this purl row. And then once I do that, I have 8 rows of stockinette to do. I'm sorry, not 8. I have 3 rows. Because I'm decreasing the number of stockinette rows in between the purls. And then I can start thinking about the hood. And I'll go from there. And if I have any questions, I'll ask my dictionary over here. My knit dictionary over here.
And it'll be easy. She does a really good job of explaining.
Yeah, I'm not having any trouble with, you know, the only time I had a little trouble was getting it to not twist. Ty ended up having to cast on the, and put it in the round for me because I kept twisting the stitches.
Mm-hmm.
But I've done it before. It's just, it was frustrating me because it just wouldn't lay flat.
Well, it's a lot of stitches.
Yeah, it's a lot of stitches. I was surprised the very first time I did it for K.F. Jones' handbrake, when she made that.
Uh-huh.
I did the longer cowl, and I did manage to do it without twisting the stitches.
Well, didn't you follow some instructions she gave to help with that?
Yeah, and I did the same thing when I did this one.
Uh-huh.
And I just for whatever reason, I couldn't get it to lie straight, and it kept twisting. And so, you know, thankfully the Ty helped me with this one, and I'll have to see about, you know, learning how to do this more consistently.
Well, learning to read your stitches does help, because then you can see what the back and the front look like differently when you are working off of the cast on.
Yeah.
You'll be like, oh, okay, that's where, you know, it looks like when it's behind. You know, once you learn to read your stitches better, it will help with everything.
Carolina So Woolly did a crochet cast on, but it was different from the crochet cast on that I did, where it's for a foundational crochet cast on. This was an actual crochet cast on that was really interesting.
Oh, I think I've seen that before.
Yeah, she did. She said, well, if you're casting on with that particular cast on, I guess that's her favorite one. If you cast on with that particular one, if it says to cast on 51 stitches, she said you cast on 50, because then you twist the one on the hook and you put that on, and that's 51. And I got that even before she said it, so I was kind of close. So maybe I'll try that sometime. You know, cast on.
I would think that's not a very forgiving cast on. There's no stretch to it.
Yeah, I'm thinking that you wouldn't want it for socks or something.
No, that is if you need a very sturdy, non-stretchy cast on for whatever reason. A stable cast on that's just got no give to it.
Yeah, but I'd like to know how. I like learning the different cast-ons. My favorite is the long tail, but I like learning other ones.
Well, I've done a couple of other ones when the patterns have called for it, especially if I don't feel like having to measure out the yarn ahead of time. Then I'll do like a knit cast on.
Right.
Because then I don't have to think about it ahead of time.
And I'm not quite sure I know how to do that.
It's a lot easier than you think. I usually had to remind myself.
I think that's the one I learned with.
It probably is.
But I found it stiff to work with.
Once you get used to it, it's not bad.
But anyway, I don't know if I actually showed you this. You can see that can you see how the stockinette sections are getting, you know, they were smaller at the bottom, then you have that one in the middle where it's pretty
now
good
it's
size,
coming back the other
and
direction.
now it's going smaller again. That's the pattern for this. So I'm enjoying this. And this is Miss Babs. It's a Miss Babs skein of Yowza in the blue slate colorway.
Okay, so my final project, and this only got a little bit of work done on it, but I'm glad I got some. This is in my PHN 10-year anniversary bag. This is the smaller of my two bags. The bigger one is holding a sweater. I'm hoping once I'm done with this hood, I can do a little bit more work on the sweaters, just because I know I have several on the needles.
Have you looked for a vest for Daddy?
Not yet, because I need to finish the sweater.
Yeah.
And also, he hasn't said anything to me.
Yeah, he did. We were talking about it.
He's never said anything to me.
No, we were talking about it. I brought it up while you were there, and he was talking to me. He said,
no, you never have.
No, Ty, you were standing right there at the
No,
corner.
Mom, I have not.
Yes. Okay, we'll talk about this later. You did. You were right there. I think you're having a little bit of brain fog, but I'm serious. This is.
Davina must have been there.
No, it wasn't Davina, because you were saying, just pick me out the same thing that I want to have. You tell me what you want.
I told you that.
No, Daddy was sitting right there. This happens all the time. Go ahead.
Okay, so, I'm right.
I think she is. I'll let her think she is, because, you know, it's not worth getting her into a flare.
In this bag this is I do like Undead Yarns yarn for socks. Just like I liked it for toys. This is an old base.
Every time we see toys with Heidi, she shudders.
I think this is an older base, which, no, maybe that's not an older base. This is her 75% superwash merino, 25% nylon.
I don't think this is an older base.
Yeah, I had a couple where it was a little bit rougher as older base.
Yeah.
Oh, the Dragonfly fiber socks finally popped a hole. So,
oh, okay.
No, that one is, so my Christmas pair of socks is not meant for socks. So I will just recover the yarn at some point and use it for other things.
You mean the real pretty green and... Oh, okay.
Yeah. Because I was trying, because it was a little bit more sturdy feel.
Is that the one that you got all excited about? Okay.
I will use it for something.
Yeah.
Just, it's... I mean, the little bit of hole, that's something I could still... It's not going to be much of a problem. I caught it early on enough that it's just a little hole. It's not worn, like, terribly.
Right.
So I can just, you know... Well, they was washed already. So
we can make mitts?
I could, I guess. It's fingering weight.
Yeah.
I don't see much of a point for fingering weight mitts.
Right, right.
I was thinking more of something like... I don't know, I'll figure it out. If I was still doing the stethoscope cozies, I would say that. Because I still have a decent amount of that left.
Right.
But I'm not making those anymore because it's not useful to...
Don't they have book covers that you can make? Like book slips?
I don't know. I like my covers, though.
I'm not talking about those necessarily. Maybe for your journal.
But I like my journal covers.
What journal cover? What journal covers?
The ones that I was given for my journals? My pretty ones?
Oh, I'm not talking about those. I'm talking about like a regular notebook journal.
Oh, well, I wouldn't call those journals. They're just notebooks.
No, they're not. Not when you start covering them and stuff, they become journals. Besides, whenever you journal, it's a journal.
I don't use those for journals.
Father Matt would agree with me.
Anywho, this is Snap Crackle Oh Crap Pop. It's an undead yarn. And yeah, it's got these yellows, and these are colors that I might not have gone for anything other than... It'd be cute as a bunny. It would be really cute as a bunny.
Actually, that would be cute as an Easter hat. You have a pink outfit or a
I
yellow
can see
or
that. I
you
can
know.
see that. But, like, I kind of wish I had more of this for... Wait, I think I do have more of this. I can do it for a bunny. He'd be super cute as a bunny.
I don't think I have any of that.
I think I have one more skein, because I think most of Heidi's yarn, I got 2 skeins. I have to check and see if I have more of this, because if I do... I will have to make... Because it'd be adorable for a bunny. I'm not sure what color eyes I would do. Brown, maybe?
Gray.
No, the gray would be too close.
Yeah.
I don't think blue would work.
No.
I think it has to be brown.
Dark brown.
Yeah, because I think anything else might not... I don't think green.
No.
I think it has to be brown
You could
eyes.
almost do a dark gray. A very dark gray.
I think it'd be too close.
Like a slate. This is not dark enough, but...
I think it'd be too close. I think the brown might be best. Because I want it to be different enough. Because, I mean, I like my eyes to kind of pop a little bit.
You have to be careful it's not going to clash with it, though.
Brown doesn't clash with it.
I don't know. Maybe.
Because the secondary colors really don't work. Because you got yellow and pink in here. And I've already seen...
Black.
Well, you don't want black eyes.
Why not?
Because then I won't see the pupil.
You don't need to see the pupil. He has big eyes.
But that looks weird.
Not necessarily. Not any weirder than your Tabasco bunny.
Don't pick on Tabasco.
He's cute. He can take the hit.
He had to go to homelessness.
Somebody loves that bunny because they weren't going to get a bunny and they got a bunny.
A creepy red bunny.
Oh, he's not. He was never creepy.
If I still have... Well, you know what? The yarn that doesn't quite match my Tabasco, if I still have some of that left over...
Oh, right.
Because I had picked up something from Dragonfly that I thought would look close enough to Airport Hot Sauce, but it doesn't. I might... If I haven't used any of that for the shawl, because I think I actually do have enough of Airport Hot Sauce, I might make a bunny out of that as my replacement Tabasco.
Like I said, I have several yarns that are different reds that one of
But
them...
I want to have the old Tabasco because I got rid of Tabasco.
Right, if you have it.
Well, no, I mean I have something that's really close.
Yeah, well, I have stuff that's close as
and
well.
I think I'll have to look at pictures because I think Tabasco's in the front and center in one of the bags. I think he had yellow eyes.
I don't remember.
I had to go and look because he was so creepy that he was adorable.
Wasn't creepy.
But yeah, I had to make one out of this, and he will belong to me because I need another bunny.
Yeah. Can't have too many bunnies.
Well, Davina likes to go in my room and count all the bunnies.
She'll do that for the owls. She'll walk around the house and there's an owl there and an owl there and an owl there.
But anyhow,
okay.
Yes. So I'm pretty sure I have an extra skein somewhere.
Somewhere. All right, let me get my last stitch here.
It's been a while since I've been like, man, this needs to be a bunny.
I haven't felt in the mood to do twirls.
I haven't either, and I looked at this, and it's just like all of a sudden it was like, this would be an adorable bunny.
I have 3 turtles on the hook.
I know you do.
And I have...
I am hiding from your horse of doom.
Horse of doom.
Because my stitches are so small.
No,
I've worked on your platypus. Not recently, but he actually has gotten fairly recent work on him. I think I'm at a point where I need to focus on something, because that's why he hasn't been worked on recently, because it has to do with either I'm headed into the beak pretty soon or something like that, because he got quite a bit of work up until the point where I was having to do something different.
Well, it's for both of us, it's been, besides Ty's fatigue, it's been finding time that's uninterrupted, that you can actually focus in, because focus has been an issue, and then so is time where people aren't like asking questions or popping in or whatever. For me anyway, popping in and wanting this, that, or the other thing. And then I get to a certain time of day, for me anyway, where it's like, okay, I don't want to do anything that requires me to do even like rudimentary thinking. I just want to do nothing. And I'm trying to push myself out of that, because it's really not acceptable. I keep doing this.
Doing what?
Leave my pattern out. Okay. All right, my last project is my strawberry shortcake baby blanket from the Cerebelle scarf pattern by Anastasia Zattel. No, that's not right.
What?
It's my strawberry shortcake blanket from the Cerebelle scarf pattern by
Sarah Sweethearts.
I knew that wasn't right. I must have cut and pasted an old shawl thing.
Yeah.
And
I've done something like that before.
So this is.
I've been too wordy. I've been too lazy to work off of show notes. I'm just now making notes for the entire week and just doing it that way in my notebook, because I'm just way too lazy to get on the computer at this point.
So this is. I did a couple of rows again while we're watching television the other night. So it is growing. This is I think it's an Aran weight.
Is it? I can't remember from when I picked it up.
It's either Aran or worsted. I'm using a fairly good size hook. I can't read the hook right now.
I'm trying to remember. This is the one she had to replace for me. She's really good. She's had to replace for me a couple times just because the supplier sent me a wrong one. Or the first time we bought an extra because we liked the yarn anyway. But this time I was given the wrong one and I did a return, and she sent me the one I actually wanted.
It wasn't this one, because this one I got.
Oh, I thought that was the one I gave you for Christmas.
No, I haven't used that one yet.
Oh, okay.
I started with this one first.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah. So this one I like.
This was in the first batch.
I like this one. I like the way it feels, but it's not fun to tink back with. If you make a mistake, it sticks. And I mean,
well, we didn't look very closely at the content. That's like when I picked up those shirts where I liked the style, but if I didn't look closely and see what it was made out of, some of them had that like all rayon, and others were cotton, and the rayon like clung to everything and like made me look like let every possible bold show, whereas if you had cotton, it laid better. So it's like, for this you have to look at the content, because just because it's the same yarn doesn't mean it's the same content.
It's very fuzzy. It's very very soft.
Fuzzy Wuzzy was a bear.
Fuzzy Wuzzy was a blanket. This is very very fuzzy, and it's got a little bit of a halo on it. And you can't see the halo when you're looking at the online stuff. I guess that we should have looked a little more closely.
I think we were afraid the colorway would go away on us, because we had to wait for the blue one that we got at the same time. She actually contacted me and I had to jump on it because it was out of stock at that time.
This was so bad. I mean, this rivals Unforgivable in terms of being able to tink back this particular rendition of this yarn. The other ice yarns I had no problem with.
Either you have more patience than you did back then, or you actually love this colorway so much you're willing to put up with it.
I like the way it feels on my hands, and I'm more confident in the pattern. I did have to kind of work around it. I could not break it, and I could not, I was afraid I was going to break it. So
this one or Unforgivable?
This one. So I just kind of worked the thing into the stitch.
Right. Well, you know this pattern so well, and you were also doing a sweater. You were already nervous when you worked with the Unforgivable.
Yeah, because that was the yarn used by the designer.
Was it Unforgivable acrylic? I mean, that might have also been it. It wasn't as nice in your. Well, this is acrylic too. Never mind.
But this is a lot softer than a lot of other acrylics. It feels...
Well, kind of like the Lion brand acrylics. Like, that's the what I'm using for your... make sure I yarned over. Yeah, okay. That's what I'm using for your platypus.
Yeah, no, I use that for several cerebels.
Well, no, that was the Heritage. This is the one that Aunt Jane gave me, which is the anti-pill one. I can't remember what it's called, but it's a very similar colorway. Because I got the same thing. No, I might have gotten Heritage for his overalls. A really pretty blue.
They do a really good job with those.
But I tried to stick in that, at least in that area of Lion brand.
But I do like ice yarns. I just don't particularly care for this particular not brand. This particular
base.
Yeah, it's very soft.
We just didn't take a close enough look at the base.
This would be nice against the babies.
Oh yeah, whoever gets that, even if though you're like muttering against it now, whoever gets that, they're gonna love it for their baby.
Yeah, it's just, I mean, it'd be a really warm blanket as well, like if it was for an adult or something. But it's got a lot of halo to it. The only thing I'm concerned with is that it might like get in their nose or something, or
I don't think it'll be much of a problem with, because you see fuzzy blankets for babies. I'm having so much trouble today.
Yeah, but that's all I have today. This is in my PHN podcast Podiversary 10-year Podiversary bag. I think this is the extra large. I think I have the large in there somewhere. It's hard for me to remember if I don't see them together, because
I think you do, because I think you got me the large and the medium. And this one here's the medium.
Yep. So let me just finish the stitch and we can move on to...
I have graphic novel, but not anything to show.
Okay, I don't have any graphic novel.
No FOs?
Let me finish this stitch and I don't think I have... No, I don't have any FOs.
I don't have any FOs either. I'm just going to wave design for shop news. So in my Talia bag that Laura made for me, Knit Nerd, still working on that design.
I'm going to...
Usually that's the most consistent thing I've been working on. But otherwise, honestly, part of why I haven't been crafting is I've had an influx of orders for the shop, and I've been struggling to keep up with that because of fatigue. So everything else has really gone by the wayside.
I did start a second ball of yarn on this.
I have figured out, though, a way to knit in between doing certain parts of the rosaries, because I figured out a way... I'm doing things slightly differently, where I have little spaces in between doing certain things instead of having to do that thing at the end. So it allows me a little bit of knitting time.
Okay.
I just need to make sure I use it.
Let me see here. Epic novel. We do have royalties.
Yes, we do.
Are you... my shop.
Yeah, your shop.
My shop, I did have, like I said last week, I had a very nice size order, which is already on its way out, so I'm appreciative of that. It was a new buyer, so I hope she comes back. I'm hoping to dye up some yarn. Like I said,
You're trying to streamline your time, so you actually have time.
I am trying to streamline my time. I'm cutting back on the internet. I'm cutting back on a lot of different things. We're trying to set timers for like our tea time, because we have a tendency to just go forever and or until she crashes. And so I'm trying to do that so I get my housework done. I can get my knitting done, my dyeing done, all that kind of stuff. That won't be happening the next couple of weeks, because I have a colonoscopy coming up on Friday, and then my husband has one coming up on Wednesday, so we're kind of dealing with...
Not this Wednesday, but the Wednesday after hers.
Yeah, the following after me. So we have, we're kind of, juggling diets and juggling all this kind of stuff, and then hopefully once that's done, things will get more even keel. I know I've been saying that, it seems like I've been saying that since your surgery. Is just...
Well, the problem is my surgery, when was that? That was September? Well, when you...
And
we noticed his retreat, we noticed with retreat, as soon as we come back from that, everything goes on like hyper speed through the holidays and everything. And just this year, it just seems for whatever reason that's gone past the holidays a bit. I think once Lent occurs, that might be helpful, especially if you make part of your Lent thing that you're not as online as much. That might be helpful.
Yeah, it could be. I was going to say something, but now I can't remember what it was about. I don't remember. I lost it. I'm not.
And
sure.
I wasn't given any clue, so I don't know.
I'm not sure if that's senior moment or brain fog, but
yeah, we're still trying to figure out for her.
It's just I wish I could remember. It was something to do with the yarn dyeing and stuff like that.
Well, we know that you have a couple things besides for the shop. You have the yarn to dye that Davina gave you for me to make you socks, and then you have the yarns for the kits for us.
Yeah, I haven't done our yarn for our 10-year anniversary for us because I just kind of looked at it and rebelled. No, I'm not doing it right now. But I'm hoping to get that started again once we hit that more even keel of Lent and spring and that kind of stuff. I'm hoping that I can just simplify things a little bit. So you might, I'm trying to be more active on PHN and stuff like that, but you might not see me that much in other places. I think most people who say we don't see that much anyway, but I want to be more.
Well, it's mostly when you're talking about other places, it's cutting Adagio down a bit. Places where our community might not see you as much, and then YouTube, like just like looking at Avengers dancing videos, like that really doesn't. Especially since you aren't necessarily doing something at the same time.
Right. If I'm doing something at the same time, that's fine. I don't mind that.
Well, that's when I'm usually watching my political stuff or whatever. Or
I don't want to do that.
Or my royal stuff.
Gossip.
History.
Gossip. That's not history. It's culture.
Yes, culture. There we go.
That's gossip. Like People magazine and stuff. It's gossip.
But, that's when usually if I'm watching that, I'm not just sitting there and watching. I am making something. That's usually my I need help staying awake stuff. Although I have certain people, when I see them pop up, everyone has people, they see them pop up, they get right on that thing. But yeah, because my YouTube watching is generally I'm doing something. I'm cooking. I'm doing this. I'm doing that.
A lot of my stuff is
now granted you do shorter videos.
I do. I don't. A lot of times I don't watch them. It'll be something that I'm like, okay, this came up. Like I can't remember the last time before this came up that I watched the sidebars to see who could sing and who could dance. And then well,
you watch your baby videos.
I've cut back on those because they've gotten really creepy.
Oh, have they?
Some of the things have gotten really creepy. And now the big thing is that they have these really big eyes. And I was watching this video.
Oh, it could have been a filter.
No, I don't think it was a filter. This is what I think it was. Because a lady was showing, she had one big eye and a regular normal size eyes, and it's this great big lens that she puts in her eye, and then she does the makeup, and it looked like those creepy kids. And I'm like, it looks like it's really it's freaky. And some of the stuff that they do with the children, like with the dancing and stuff, I can't watch it. It's like they're making these little adults, and it's awful.
It's like the dance moms and all this other stuff that was popular on TV for a while, where you'd have the moms putting the kids in beauty competitions and things like that. It's
even worse though, because like some of these kids that are dancing and stuff, it's these really provocative.
That's right. Because they basically that fits right in with this stuff.
The very provocative type of like modeling shots and things like that.
Yeah, that's
and it's very disturbing. It's very. They don't let the kids be kids. I don't know what they're thinking about putting on the internet where any person can see it, it's just. But anyway, that's just me ranting because I just don't like that.
Yeah, and I think because of the size of the videos that you watch, and usually when you're doing quick stop upstairs or whatever, it's very easy to get sucked down the rabbit hole for something that's shorter. Shorter ones are actually worse.
Well, that's why I stopped cold turkey in my tiny houses.
Yeah.
I love the tiny houses. I just do. I don't think I could ever live in a tiny house, but I love watching them. It's just... Even
my shorter true crime things I watch with the psychologist, Dr. Grand, something like that. Anyway, if you click his are usually about 15 minutes long, and if I'm busy doing something, I don't want to go search for something else, I can hit one of his other ones and, continue listening to him, because I don't have to watch him, I can listen to him.
Well, usually when I'm doing something, I'm listening to an audiobook. Like an Agatha Christie, or I'm listening to, I haven't gone back to it yet, but the one on the Revolutionary War.
Usually when I'm doing the YouTube things is when I don't want to focus on my audiobook. I just want something in the background that I don't care if I catch everything.
See, if I'm just doing that, I have a couple of music.
I don't listen to music anymore.
I have one that's got music and rain mixed up.
Oh, that would drive me insane.
Oh no, it's really nice. It's really nice. It's very restful. I do that when I'm doing bills and stuff, because it just... Bills can be not because anything bad, but because I don't like doing bills, but I do the bills. So, and I just put that on and I get a cup of tea and I'm okay. So I just do that. But I don't know where we got that rabbit hole. Sorry about
Anyhow,
that.
we're
Anyway,
talking less time online and
doing stuff that needs to be done. I also
Right.
have to figure out which hobbies are going to take priority because I have a ton of them.
but stash enhancements. Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
So first of all, this container I showed previously, but I didn't feel like waiting for to show the lapsing souchong in the bag. I just went ahead and put it in the container. So this is lapsing souchong. I like it in things, and I also like it by itself. It's kind of a nice sweet, smoky.
Ugh.
And then I have
Too much smoky.
I got 2 small containers because I'm trying to get all the teas that I tend to drink the most, or I think I'm going to drink the most, in containers because I don't tend to look at my boxes.
Yeah, that's what I have to do as well.
And then I know what I have.
Got it?
Yeah, there we go. I just had to find a part of the tape that would actually come up. Trying to remember what colors I got.
What follows orange or yellow?
This one's yellow. I think I got a red and a yellow. That's usually what I get.
That's winter and yeah, I usually get the blue and the green.
So here's a yellow.
Although I usually get all 4, so
Mom and I share sugar. We take turns getting one each time.
it's huge.
And she usually stashes it because she has a place to put it.
Get your weight workout with that.
Yeah. Well,
You
I
got
need
summer.
to refill part of mine. Oh, I did get summer. Huh. I could've
Summer's
sworn-
green, isn't it?
Yeah, I thought I got a red, but I guess I didn't.
Because red is winter, isn't it?
Yeah, I think so.
No, blue is winter.
Blue is winter. You're right. Red might be
Summer.
summer. But usually,
Yeah, because orange is fall.
yeah, there we go. It is summer. There is no orange.
Green. Green is spring. Green is spring. Blue is winter.
And yellow is fall. Red is summer. Because normally I wouldn't go for summer because I'm not a big, that's not my season. I prefer winter and fall.
Me too.
But for whatever reason, I would not have put this as summer.
No.
I would have put blue as summer.
Yeah. Well, no, because blue with the snowflakes and all that, I get that.
Yeah.
I would have put yellow as summer.
Okay, I could see that. Mhm.
And I would have put green as spring. And then
Red
blue
would
as
work.
winter.
Red would work as fall.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or orange.
Yeah, but I think they were wanting to go with red, in which case, yeah, red because red leaves. You do have red leaves.
I would have put purple actually, or orange.
I think they want to make sure they have red in there because red's a popular color. But yeah, that's what was in my stash enhancement.
Okay. The stash enhancement I have was not really for me. It's for you guys. Christina is wonderful. She's Mama C.
Yes.
And she sent us prizes for you. Okay? So she sent us these yarns. So this will probably be one prize. And this is opal yarn. And it looks like it's sock weight yarn.
It is. You can tell. I can tell just by looking at it.
And then this one is
I have some opal. I look forward to working with this.
this is Premier Deborah Norville Serenity Sock, and these two will go together. Well, no, they're different. They're different colors. I
Are
thought
you
they were-
sure?
Yes,
Hold on,
they
let
are.
me see.
This has got blue in it. That one.
Nope, this is blue in it too. They're the
No, but
same.
they're different colors.
No, it's the same. Hold on. Look at the thing on there. It's the same.
If they're the same, they'll go together. But
Yeah,
let's see.
they're the same.
Where's the?
I'm
color?
trying to look for it. Let's see.
There's a lot more blue in this one.
Well, it's the way it's skeined up. Because you've known that if it's skeined
Yeah,
up, sometimes it'll look different. There's the color by name. Let's see. DDNN1. Yeah, it's the same.
Okay, so these two will go together. They don't look the same, but they are.
But it's
the
only
same.
the way it was skeined up.
Okay, so these two will go together, and this one will go by itself. And then we had this really lovely little card that we're not going to read to you. So, okay, a little sunflower. Isn't that pretty?
And I am starting to crash.
Yeah. Well, we're almost done. So this is that. So that's stash enhancements. I didn't spend any money for anything.
Yeah, it was just my turn to get to the sugar, and I wanted some lapsing souchong because I realized that I liked it, and I only had a sample worth, and I knew I was going to drink through it fast.
Right. Okay, so that takes care of that. I don't know why my show notes keep going away.
We might need to reset your timers of like when it goes to sleep.
Yeah. I mean, it doesn't do it thankfully when I'm on the.
Well,
on the
you're
sheet,
you're
but I
reading
read,
actively.
yeah, I read it. So, okay, so all right. I guess that's all we have about that. We don't really have any, life stuff, except, like I said, I have a colonoscopy coming up this Friday, so if you want to pray for that, I appreciate it.
Yeah, because if nothing is wrong, she doesn't have to have another one.
I hope.
Yeah.
I hope. So we pray. So we pray about that. But
you don't have to have a schedule whenever, like a
well,
automatically.
I thought last time I wouldn't have to ever, but they gave me 7 years instead of 10. So we'll see what.
Yeah, it all depends on what's going on,
and what the doctor thinks. So hopefully, I don't like them. I mean, it's not the actual exam. I don't feel anything for the exam.
Right.
I'm out, but it's the whole prep and then the getting back into your regular eating schedule. That's a little bit of a pain in the neck. But we want to thank all the people who joined us today.
I'm sorry.
Oh, you're right. We want to thank all the people who commented and who are watching us, and all the people who commented on the YouTube channel. I didn't see anybody on PHN. That doesn't mean that you didn't. If I missed you, I apologize.
I think people have learned we're better at answering comments on YouTube.
I'll answer the podcast on PHN. Sometimes Jody will go there. I think I owe Jody one. I saw it, but I didn't respond to that particular one because I was busy. But we try to, one of us or both of us will try to get to the comments at least in one place or the other. This time we both got YouTube. But anyway, want to thank everybody who commented, everybody who is just here watching. Want to thank especially Wendy, who is MacGyver, Paula, Brittany, Looney Hiker. She is our resident Rolling Stone.
Although she says the Rolling Stone has stopped rolling.
For a little while. And Chronically Crocheting, and Margaret, and Rena, and Meditative Crafter. Thank you very, very much for commenting. We appreciate you joining us. And we will hope to see you here for the Fun in the Woman Cave next week. This is the Pen, Hook, and Needles podcast, episode 541, and that's a wrap.
Bye.
Bye-bye, bye-bye.